It's easier for me to talk to people about carpets. It's hard to talk about these types of things. Let's dive right in. I'll talk about something very uncomfortable. No Shave November, I've never worn a beard. This is uncomfortable. I feel like I have food on my face. And that's how I deal with uncomfortability. I talk about things that get me cut off from my feelings. How did I come about meeting Dennis and the people here at KnowResolve? 8 years ago, I was on my way home. I had a 1.5-year-old son in Oxford, Michigan, where I was living. And I stopped at Sagebrush Cantina to get a carryout for my son's mom, because we love the food there. And I was waiting for my food, and I'm sitting there, and there's this group of rowdy kids right over here, and they had no place to sit, and I'm sitting at this table waiting for a carryout. I said, you guys can sit over here if you want, so you don't have to stand. And there was this kid by the name of Anthony Grappito. He was 21 years old. He was celebrating his 21st birthday. And I bought him and his friends a round of drinks, and I got my food, and I left. And as I was leaving, he said, I'm a great magician. You know, take my number, and if your company ever needs entertainment, please call me. And so I said, okay, cool. We exchanged numbers. We texted a little bit over the next year and a half or so. And he says, I'm doing this magic show, and I really want you to come see it. I just never made the time to come see this kid. You know, I had this new business that was trying to grow, and I had this new dad, and I lived way out in Oxford. And finally, he said he was doing this. He was standing up and doing this magic show where he's going to be coming out of a straitjacket, talking about mental health and his depression that he went through when he was in his late teens. And I said, that's pretty interesting. And at this time, this is a year and a half later, I'm dating this girl named Brittany. Brittany is still with me today. This is several years ago. Her sister died by suicide when she was 15. I also lost a friend that year by the name of Jay, who seemed like he had it all together. This guy was the light of every room. He was just happy, successful, always helping everybody into the sun. And out of nowhere, we thought he got murdered. He died by suicide. And we couldn't wrap our head around it. And I went to this event. I watched Anthony Grappito on stage, getting himself out of a straitjacket, and he's talking about these really, really challenging parts of his teenage years, and how powerless and empty and how impossible it was to overcome these adversities that he was feeling in his life. And when he was talking and doing the show and talking about how he worked his way through it, and then he said how he related it, with his magic show, it inspired me a lot, and it made me want to stick around for the rest of the show. And then I heard Dennis, and then I heard other speakers. And in my mind, which I hadn't told anybody up until that point, was just a few months before that, even though I was a dad, I was homeless 16 years ago, and by this point I was a millionaire, and I went from rags to riches. Things were great in my life, it looked like. I was so broken inside that there was a night that I was in Miami. I'm an alcoholic, and I was sober for 4 years. I started drinking again, tried to drink responsibly for a few months. And there was a night when I was in Miami with 3 vendors that I did business with, and they were never there. I was a nightclub promoter for a while in my earlier life, and so I said, I'll show you guys a great time. So I said, but you gotta hold my rental car keys, because I cannot drink and drive. If I get messed up tonight, I can't make a decision, because I got 2 DUIs under my belt, I can't risk it. There's no problem, let's go for it. Well, that was at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. By 4 o'clock in the morning, we're getting kicked out of the Clevelander. There's only 2 of us that are still kind of wobbling around standing. And then he says to me, he goes, I have a flight at 7 o'clock. What do you want me to do with your keys? And I said, I don't know. He goes, you promise you won't drive? I said, I won't drive, I'm not that stupid. I just got kicked out of the bar after drinking who knows how many drinks, I'm not that dumb. He gives me the keys. He goes, you swear you're not gonna? I swear to God, I'm not gonna drive. Sorry, Andrew. Andrew's the lead pastor at Kensington Church, by the way, so sorry I said I swear to God, but I did. He's one of my biggest mentors here also, by the way. He's over at Troy, and he's changed my life. But anyways, he says, don't drive, and I said, I won't drive. So I stumble over to the next block over in Washington, another nightclub's getting out, and there's this really pretty girl. Next thing you know, her and I are both drunk, now we're kissing. Now I'm trying to convince her to come back to my hotel room. She says, okay. We walk to my rental car, I get in the car, and I'm driving who knows how fast up Collins, to get to my hotel. And watching these orange barrels on the side of it, it's just a blur. I don't know how I didn't hit one or hit someone or crash or something. We get to my hotel room, I'm up in the room, and she wants money. I'm like, you're a hooker? Excuse me. And I kick her out of the room. And now I go to the minibar. I'm drunk off my butt. And I start drinking Tanqueray and things that I would never drink in a million years, just to drink. And I'm looking at my life as the sun's coming up that morning, and I absolutely hate myself. I hate myself. I cheated on my kid's mom. I destroyed my family. I knew what alcohol was going to do to me because I'm an alcoholic, and I watched what it did to me in the past. And I was out of control again. I was going to throw everything away. At the time, I had 30 or 40 employees that needed me, but most importantly, my son needed me. I made my way over to the balcony of the 15th floor of the Fontainebleau in Miami, and I sat on the edge like this. And I had my heels up, and I'm trying to give myself enough courage just to get over that edge, because I knew if I fell, it only lasts another second, and the pain would be gone forever. For me. Not for my son who would have to grow up without a dad. Not for all the people that I would have hurt after I hit the ground or the roof 14 floors down. My phone was plugged in. It was going off like crazy. I thought something might have happened to my son, because whoever was calling kept ringing over and over and over again. Finally, I get off the balcony, I go over there. And it's my friend Mark. Mark saw that I was in Miami on Facebook, and he lived there. I went to boarding school with him when I was a messed up teenager. And Mark had 15 years sober, and Mark said, I see you in Miami, but you're not sober anymore, are you? I said, no. He goes, where are you at? Told him he left work, and he came over there, and he took me to an AA meeting. He said, I'm going to be your sponsor. You're going to call me 3 times a day. You're going to go to 90 meetings in 90 days. You're going to read this book, and you're going to do this program the right way, and you're going to find out why the hell you hate yourself so much. And he became my coach that got me through that. So, when I saw Anthony speak, and I saw him talking about how he copes with the challenges in his life, the way I coped that is I went to alcohol. I went to sex, I went to food, I went to anything I could to make myself feel good and avoid feeling bad for that moment, like a lot of people. Later that year, after I saw Anthony speak, my call center manager died by suicide. She was, I think, 30 years old. Brightest person in the room, man. She was on all of our commercials. She was happy, she was excited, she was always motivating everybody and looking after everybody. She would always take care of everybody. Looked like she had life together, just the same way Jay did. How could this person take her own life? So the next time I came to this event, I said, I want to get more involved. And then we sponsored it. You know, part of me wanted to sponsor it because I believed what it was, and part of it looked good because it's advertising. And not even a year later, the girl that came with me to that event that worked for me also, my next call center manager, after she got fired a few months later, she drank herself to death. 31 years old, mom with 2 kids. Been to this event a couple times. I've wanted to serve on the board ever since. And when they were talking about building the shed, I really wanted to get involved because I didn't have a place to talk. I had a bottle. A lot of kids nowadays, you think it was bad being a teenager when most of us were growing up. What's it like now? We didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Facebook. We were in a comparative society, but not like now. The worst thing that would happen to us is we get, people get smacked around on the bus or laughed at on the playground. Nowadays, when a kid gets shamed, it's shamed by thousands. And those thousands of kids share with thousands more. It's the end of the world for these people. So we need a place like this. We need programs like this to give a kid, a teenager, a young adult, a place to express himself, a place to share. My sponsor in AA tells me a problem shared is a problem cut in half. Mark Lewis cut my problem in half that day when I was on the 15th floor of the Fontainebleau Hotel. Anthony's magic and the things that he coped with it in a way that's positive. And this program that Dennis put together, and all of us have worked to try to create the shed, has reached hundreds and thousands and thousands and thousands of kids. And if these efforts can just save one life, one single life, it'd be worth it at any cost times 1,000. I'm so grateful, Dennis, that you put this together. I'm so grateful that so many people support this. Just this year, we lost another person, a close friend of mine, to suicide. happiest person in the world would look like. Who would have ever thought that I would be suicidal after going from where I was to where I became with a son at home? I was going to make a permanent decision that was going to impact lots and lots of people because I couldn't see a way out of that moment, that drunken moment. So I'm here to support this. I'm glad all of you are here to support this. These programs make a huge, huge, huge difference. So please support this as much as you possibly can, because this is going to save lives, and that's why we're all here. So thank you.
Thank you, Joe. And at this time, I hand it over to the one and only